Listen, your mind is the control center of your life. Everything you do, everything you achieve, everything you become, it all starts up here. If your mind is cluttered, if it's filled with distractions, doubts, and negativity, then your life will reflect that chaos. But when your mind is clear, focused, and disciplined, there's no limit to what you can accomplish. Too many people are walking around with minds that are overcrowded, cluttered with fear, packed with worry, overloaded with things that don't even matter. They wonder why they're stuck, why they can't move forward, why they can't see the next step. It's because their mind is like a messy room. When your space is a disaster, when there's stuff everywhere, when you can't even see the floor, how can you move? How can you function? You can't. You're tripping over things, you're losing things, and you're wasting time trying to find what you need. That's exactly how an unclear mind works. And let's be real, some of you are carrying mental clutter from years ago, stuff that happened in your childhood, things people said to you, mistakes you made, regrets you refused to let go of. It's all still up there taking up space. And now, when it's time for new opportunities, new visions, new breakthroughs, there's no room. Your mind is filled with so much old junk that there's no space for the new. And if you don't clear it, it'll keep controlling you. The truth is, a clear mind doesn't just happen, it's intentional. You have to work at it every single day. You have to wake up and decide that you're not going to let just anything take up space in your head. You have to be aggressive about what you allow to enter your mind. You don't just let anybody walk into your house and make a mess, do you? Then why do you let anything and everything walk into your mind and take control? Distractions are everywhere. Social media, negativity, gossip, people's opinions. They are constantly fighting for space in your head. But here's the question. Who owns your mind? Who's running it? Because if you don't take control, something or someone else will. And when that happens, you end up living a life that isn't even yours. You start making decisions based on fear, based on what others think, based on self-doubt instead of confidence. A clear mind gives you power. It gives you the ability to focus. It allows you to see opportunities instead of obstacles. When your mind is clear, you move differently. You wake up with purpose. You're not wandering through life hoping something good happens. You're making things happen. You're not just reacting to life. You're creating life on your terms. But let me be honest with you. Clearing your mind is not easy. It's a fight because negativity doesn't just leave on its own. Doubt doesn't just walk away. Distractions don't just disappear. You have to fight for your focus. You have to train your mind like an athlete trains their body. An athlete doesn't just show up on game day and expect to win. They train every single day. They condition their body. They strengthen their muscles. They push through pain. That's what you have to do with your mind. Every day you have to condition it. You have to strengthen it. You have to push through the noise and focus on what matters. And listen, some of you are holding on to thoughts that are poisoning you. Thoughts of failure, thoughts of inadequacy, thoughts of I'm not good enough. You've replayed them so many times that you actually believe them. But let me tell you right now, you have the power to clear that out. You have the power to change the narrative. Just because you thought it doesn't mean it's true. Just because someone said it doesn't mean you have to accept it. You decide what stays in your mind. You decide what gets evicted. Start paying attention to what you allow in your head. Start protecting your mental space the same way you protect your physical space. If someone walked into your house and started dumping garbage all over the floor, you wouldn't just stand there and let it happen. You'd kick them out. So why are you allowing garbage to pile up in your mind? Kick it out. Get rid of the self-doubt, the toxic thoughts, the unnecessary distractions. When your mind is clear, you can see your purpose. You can hear your inner voice. You can feel your potential. And when you reach that level, nothing can stop you. Clear your mind and take control of your life. Some of you are stuck, not because you lack talent, not because you lack potential, but because your mind is full of junk. It's not that you don't have the ability, it's that you don't have the clarity. You're trying to run full speed, but you're dragging weights behind you. You're trying to build something great, but you got clutter in your foundation. And I need you to understand this. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't intentionally pull the weeds, they will take over. Every single day, things are trying to take up space in your mind. Doubt, fear, worry, negative opinions, the past. And if you're not careful, your mind will become overcrowded with things that do not serve you. That's why some of you feel drained before you even start your day. You wake up tired, not because you didn't sleep enough, but because your mind is exhausted. You've been carrying so much unnecessary baggage that your energy is spent before you even get moving. Listen to me. You have to eliminate mental clutter. You have to be intentional about it. Some of you are trying to reach new levels with an old mindset, and it's not working. You're trying to grow, but your mind is stuck in past failures. You're trying to focus, but you're distracted by things that don't even matter. And until you decide to clear the clutter, you're going to stay stuck. I need you to start evaluating the things that are taking up space in your mind. Some of you are holding on to past mistakes like trophies. You keep replaying what went wrong, what you could have done differently, how you messed up. But let me tell you something. Thinking about it over and over again is not going to change it. The only thing it's doing is robbing you of your present and your future. You are carrying things that you should have let go of a long time ago. And I get it. Sometimes it's hard to let go because you think if you stop thinking about it, then it means it didn't matter. But that's not true. A lesson can be learned without being relived every day. You don't have to keep the pain to keep the wisdom. Take the lesson and leave the burden. Some of you are distracted by things that have nothing to do with your purpose. You're caught up in social media, drama, opinions, nonsense. You're filling your mind with junk, and then you wonder why you can't focus. Every time you open your phone, your mind is flooded with things that don't serve you, and you have to make a decision. Are you going to let distractions dictate your life, or are you going to take control? You have to start treating your mind like a sacred space. Not everything and everyone deserves access. You can't let just anything take root in your thoughts. If it's not pushing you forward, if it's not making you better, if it's not aligned with your vision, it has to go. Some of you need to do a mental detox. You need to clear out the negativity, the doubt, the unnecessary distractions. You need to start protecting your mental energy the same way you protect your time. If something is draining you, if it's keeping you stuck, if it's making you question yourself, it has no place in your mind. I need you to be intentional about what you allow into your thoughts. I need you to start filtering what you listen to, what you watch, what you engage in. Because here's the truth. Whatever you constantly feed your mind is shaping your reality. If you're always feeding your mind negativity, if you're always entertaining doubt, if you're always engaging with things that bring you down, then your life will reflect that. But when you clear the clutter, when you eliminate the distractions, when you stop giving energy to things that don't serve you, everything changes. You start thinking differently. You start moving differently. You start attracting opportunities instead of obstacles. You start seeing possibilities instead of problems. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to make the decision today. No more carrying unnecessary baggage. No more replaying old failures. No more wasting mental space on things that don't matter. It's time to clear your mind. Because a clear mind is a powerful mind, and a powerful mind can change everything. Your mind is the most powerful thing you have, but the question is, who's controlling it? Are you in charge of your thoughts, or are your thoughts in charge of you? Too many people go through life on autopilot, letting whatever pops into their head dictate how they feel, how they act, how they see themselves. But if you don't learn to master your thoughts will master you. And when that happens, you end up living a life that's built on fear, doubt, and limitations instead of confidence, purpose, and power. You don't have to believe everything you think. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it's true. And yet some of you have been holding on to the same negative thoughts for years. Thoughts that were planted by other people, by past experiences, by failures, by insecurities. You've let those thoughts define you. You've let them shape your decisions, your confidence, your potential. But I need you to understand something. You have the power to control what stays in your mind. You have the power to reject anything that doesn't serve you. Think about this. If someone knocked on your door and tried to walk into your house, carrying bags of trash, you wouldn't just let them in. You wouldn't let them dump their garbage in your living room and sit there like everything was fine. So why do you let negative, self-defeating thoughts walk into your mind and make themselves at home? Why do you allow doubt, fear, and insecurity to take up space in your head like they belong there? You have to start guarding your mind like it's your most valuable possession, because it is. Some of you are losing the battle in your mind before you even step onto the battlefield. You wake up already defeated. You haven't even started your day, and your thoughts are already telling you, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm going to fail. And when you let those thoughts run unchecked, they shape your reality. You start moving like someone who isn't good enough. You start showing up like someone who can't win. And before you know it, your thoughts become your truth, not because they were ever true, but because you believed them. You have to take control. You have to start questioning the thoughts that don't serve you. You have to start challenging the voice in your head that tells you you're not capable. Because let me tell you something. That voice is a liar. That voice is fear. That voice is doubt. That voice is insecurity. And none of those things deserve to have power over your life. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who never have negative thoughts. They're the ones who refuse to let those thoughts control them. They don't let doubt stop them. They don't let fear paralyze them. They don't let insecurities dictate their actions. They hear the negativity and they shut it down. They override it with truth. They remind themselves who they are, what they're capable of, and where they're going. You have to train your mind to filter negativity. And listen, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it happens overnight, but I am saying it's possible, and it starts with awareness. Pay attention to what you tell yourself every day. Pay attention to the stories you repeat in your mind. Are they pushing you forward, or are they keeping you stuck? Are they building you up, or are they tearing you down? Because whatever you feed will grow. If you keep feeding negative thoughts, they will take over your mind. But if you start feeding confidence, belief, and power, those will become your default thoughts. Some of you have conditioned your mind to expect failure. You've played it safe for so long that anytime you even think about stepping outside your comfort zone, your mind immediately tells you all the reasons why you shouldn't. It tells you you're not ready, you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, and you believe it. But what if, just for a moment, you challenge those thoughts? What if you replaced every I can't with I can? What if you replaced every I'm not good enough with I have everything I need to succeed? What if you stopped treating negative thoughts like facts and started treating them like lies that need to be corrected? I need you to start talking to yourself differently. I need you to start speaking life into your mind. Every single day, you need to be intentional about what you say to yourself, because your words shape your reality. Stop saying, I'm not good enough. Stop saying, I'll never make it. Stop saying, I don't have what it takes. Instead, start saying, I am capable. I am strong. I am built for this. I will figure it out. And don't just say it once. Repeat it until it becomes your truth. Repeat it until your mind has no choice but to believe it. Because here's the thing. Your mind is listening. Your mind is taking notes. Whatever you tell it the most, it will accept as reality. So if you tell it you're not good enough, it will believe that. If you tell it you're unstoppable, it will believe that too. You have to make a decision. What kind of thoughts are you going to allow in your mind? What kind of reality are you going to create with your word? It's time to take control. It's time to stop being a prisoner to your own thoughts. It's time to stand up to the negativity, the doubt, the fear, and say, you don't belong here anymore. You get to decide what stays in your mind. You get to decide what shapes your reality. So choose thoughts that empower you. Choose thoughts that elevate you. Choose thoughts that move you toward the life you are meant to live. Because once you master your mind, you master your life. The world is loud. Everywhere you go, there's noise. Social media, the news, people talking, notifications, buzzing. Every second, something is fighting for your attention. And if you're not careful, all that noise will drown out the most important voice in your life, your own. Some of you are so caught up in the noise that you don't even know what you really think anymore. You don't know what you truly want because you've spent so much time listening to everything and everyone else. But if you're going to clear your mind, if you're going to find real direction, you have to learn the power of silence. Most people don't sit in silence because they're afraid of what they might hear. They're afraid of facing their own thoughts. They're afraid of dealing with the truth that's been buried under all the distraction. But let me tell you something. If you never sit with yourself, if you never take the time to reflect, then you're always going to be lost. You're always going to feel like something is missing. And no amount of noise, no amount of distractions, no amount of outside validation is ever going to fill that void. You have to create space for clarity. You have to be intentional about stepping away from the noise so you can actually hear what matters. Some of you are praying for answers, but you never give yourself the silence to receive them. Some of you are looking for direction, but your mind is so crowded with distractions that you can't even see the path in front of you. You keep asking, what should I do? Where should I go? But you won't sit still long enough to hear the answer. Listen to me. Clarity doesn't come in chaos. Breakthroughs don't happen when your mind is cluttered with 1,000 different voices pulling you in 1,000 different directions. Breakthroughs happen in stillness. Growth happens in moments of reflection. Some of the greatest ideas, the greatest transformations, the greatest shifts in your life will come in moments of silence. But you have to make time for it. You have to step away from the noise. And I know that's not easy in a world that is constantly demanding your attention. Your phone is buzzing. People need you. There's always something going on. But let me ask you something. What's more important, the noise or your future? The distractions or your destiny? Because if you really want clarity, if you really want peace, if you really want to get to the next level, then you're going to have to protect your mind. You're going to have to guard your mental space like your life depends on it, because it does. And some of you, you've been running from silence for too long. You fill every moment with music, with TV, with scrolling, with conversation, because you don't want to be alone with your thoughts. You don't want to face the things you've been avoiding. But I'm telling you right now, the healing, the clarity, the strength you're looking for, it's not out there in the noise, it's in you. But you'll never find it if you don't take the time to look within. You have to start making silence a part of your routine. Maybe it's 5 minutes in the morning before you start your day. Maybe it's a walk with no distractions, no phone, no music, just you and your thoughts. Maybe it's turning everything off for an hour and just sitting with yourself. Whatever it is, you have to make time for it, because in that stillness, you will start to hear the truth. You will start to see the vision. You will start to get the answers that have been waiting for you all along. Some of the most successful people in the world take time for silence. They meditate, they reflect, they step away from the noise because they understand that a clear mind is a powerful mind. They know that in order to lead, in order to create, in order to stay focused, they need moments of stillness. And if they can make time for it with everything they have going on, then so can you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying silence is always comfortable. Sometimes when you finally slow down and listen, you're going to hear things you don't want to hear. You're going to realize there are things in your life that need to change. You're going to recognize patterns that have been holding you back. You're going to see the truth about yourself, your habits, your mindset. And that's not always easy, but it's necessary, because once you face it, once you acknowledge it, you can start to change it. You can start to grow. You can start to move forward with real clarity. I'm telling you, if you can just discipline yourself to take even a few moments each day to step away from the noise, to sit in silence, to reflect, your entire life will start to shift. You will start making better decisions because your mind is clear. You will start recognizing opportunities that were always there, but you were too distracted to see. You will start feeling more at peace because you're no longer being pulled in 100 different directions. So make the time, create the space, protect your peace, because in the silence, you will find everything you've been looking for. Some of you are carrying things you were never meant to carry. You're holding on to past failures, past mistakes, past pain, like it's your identity. And you wonder why you feel heavy. You wonder why you can't move forward. It's because you're dragging the weight of things that should have been left behind a long time ago. You keep replaying what went wrong, what they said, what they did, how you failed, how you should have done it differently. But listen to me, if it's in the past, that means it's over. That means it's done. And the only way it can keep hurting you, the only way it can keep holding you back is if you refuse to let it go. Some of you are living in your yesterday. And because of that, you can't step into your tomorrow. You can't see the future because you're too busy staring at the past. You can't see the opportunity in front of you because you're still focused on the door that closed behind you. But I need you to hear me. What's behind you is not greater than what's ahead of you. What's gone is not more valuable than what's coming. But you'll never see that if you're always looking backward. You have to make a decision. Are you going to live in your past or are you going to build your future? Are you going to keep letting old wounds define you, or are you going to heal and move forward? Because let me tell you something, growth requires release. You cannot elevate while holding on to dead weight. You cannot step into new opportunities while still carrying old baggage. You cannot become who you were meant to be if you refuse to let go of who you used to be. And I know it's not easy. Letting go is hard. Forgiving yourself is hard. Moving forward after disappointment is hard. But what's the alternative? Staying stuck, living in regret, wasting your life, replaying things you cannot change? That's not the life you were meant to live. That's not the mindset that's going to take you where you need to go. You have to decide that your future is more important than your past. You have to decide that what's ahead of you is worth more than what's behind you. Some of you are waiting for closure. You think you can't move forward until you get an apology, until you get an explanation, until the situation makes sense. But listen to me, closure is a choice. It's not something someone else gives you. It's something you decide for yourself. You don't need an apology to move on. You don't need an explanation to be at peace. You don't need everything to make sense before you decide to free yourself from it. Some of you have been stuck for years, waiting for something that may never come. And while you're waiting, life is passing you by. Opportunities are passing you by. Your future is waiting, but you're too busy holding on to a past that no longer serves you. Let me make it clear. You cannot change what happened. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can control how you respond to it. You can decide what you're going to do moving forward. You can choose to release it so it no longer has power over you, because that's what holding on does. It keeps you tied to something that no longer exists. It keeps you bound to a moment that's already over. And as long as you're tied to the past, you cannot be fully present in your future. Some of you need to forgive yourselves. You keep beating yourself up over things you can't change. You keep replaying your mistakes like that's going to make them disappear. But let me ask you, what are you gaining by punishing yourself? What is it doing for you? Is it making you better? Is it pushing you forward? Or is it just keeping you in the same cycle of regret and guilt? You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the worst thing you've ever done. But if you keep identifying yourself by your past, then you will never step into the person you were meant to be. Forgiveness is freedom. And I'm not just talking about forgiving other people. I'm talking about forgiving yourself. Some of you have already been forgiven by everyone except you. You're the only one still holding on to it. And I get it. You think if you let it go, it means it didn't matter. You think if you move forward, it means you're excusing it. But that's not true. A lesson can be learned without carrying the burden forever. Growth can happen without holding on to the pain. You can acknowledge what happened without letting it define you. And listen, some of you need to let go of people. Not everyone who started with you is meant to finish with you. Not everyone in your life is supposed to have a permanent seat at your table. And I know that's hard. Letting go of relationships, friendships, connections that once meant something to you, that's not easy. But if someone is draining you, if someone is holding you back, if someone is keeping you in a cycle of negativity, then it's time to let them go. You cannot carry people who are refusing to grow. You cannot keep lowering yourself to fit into spaces you've outgrown. Some of you are afraid to move forward because you don't know what's next. You don't know what's on the other side of letting go. But let me tell you, what's ahead of you is always greater than what's behind you. You may not see it yet, you may not feel it yet, but if you keep moving forward, if you keep pushing past the weight of the past, you will walk into a future that makes you grateful you never gave up. It's time to release, it's time to free yourself, it's time to stop carrying things that do not serve you. The moment you decide to let go, that's the moment your life starts to change. Your mind is a battlefield. Every single day there's a war going on in your head between the thoughts that push you forward and the ones that pull you back. And for some of you, you've been losing that battle because you've been feeding the wrong thoughts. You've been letting negativity run wild in your mind. You've been letting fear dictate your decisions. You've been allowing self-doubt to control your actions. But if you don't take control of your thoughts will take control of you. Everything starts in your mind. Your success, your failure, your growth, your setbacks, it all begins with what you allow yourself to think and believe. And some of you, you're wondering why you're stuck, why you feel lost, why you can't break through to the next level, but you haven't checked your thoughts. You haven't examined what's running through your mind on a daily basis. Because if you did, you'd realize you're allowing things in your head that don't belong there. You're allowing negativity to live rent-free in your mind. You're entertaining doubt like it's a welcome guest. You're treating fear like it's a fact instead of a feeling. You have to understand, your thoughts create your reality. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on, you move toward. If all you ever think about is failure, you will find a way to fail. If all you ever think about is what's wrong, you will never see what's right. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough, you will start living like that's true. But the same way negative thoughts shape your reality, positive thoughts do too. If you start speaking life into your situation, if you start replacing doubt with belief, if you start training your mind to see possibility instead of limitation, then everything changes. Some of you have been conditioned to think small. Maybe it's the way you were raised. Maybe it's the people around you. Maybe it's the experiences you've had. But somewhere along the way, you started believing that success was for other people, that greatness was for them, but not for you. And now every time you try to step up, every time you try to do something different, that little voice in your head tells you to stop. It tells you to stay where it's safe. It tells you not to try because you might fail. But listen to me, that voice is lying to you. That voice is not the truth. That voice is fear, and fear is a liar. Fear will tell you that you're not ready. Fear will tell you that you're not qualified. Fear will tell you that you don't have what it takes. But guess what? You don't need fear's permission to succeed. You don't need fear's approval to chase your dreams. Fear is not going anywhere. It will always be there trying to whisper doubt in your ear. But you don't have to listen. You don't have to obey. You don't have to let fear dictate your future. You have to retrain your mind. You have to reprogram the way you think. You have to be intentional about what you allow in your head. That means cutting off negativity. That means shutting down self-doubt before it takes root. That means replacing every limiting belief with a new, empowering one. And it won't happen overnight. You can't just think one positive thought and expect your whole mindset to change. No, this is a process. It's a daily discipline. Just like you train your body in the gym, you have to train your mind to be strong. Some of you need to start speaking life over yourself. You need to start declaring things that align with the person you want to become. Because your words have power. Your thoughts have power. And every time you tell yourself, I can't, you're reinforcing the chains that are holding you back. But every time you say, I will, you are breaking those chains. Every time you say, I am capable, I am strong, I am built for this, you are shifting your reality. And I know some of you are thinking, but what if I don't believe it yet? Say it anyway. Speak it anyway. Because your mind will follow where your words lead. Your belief will catch up to your actions. If you wait until you feel confident, you will never start. If you wait until you feel ready, you will never move. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. You have to act like the person you want to become. You have to think like the person you want to become. You have to start carrying yourself like the person you want to become. Some of you are surrounded by negativity. You have people in your life who are constantly feeding your doubt, constantly reinforcing your fears, constantly keeping you in the same small mindset. And if you keep listening to them, if you keep allowing their voices to shape your thinking, then you will never break free. You need to protect your mind. You need to be careful about who you listen to. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. Not everyone deserves to speak into your future. Your mind is your most powerful asset, or it's your greatest liability. And the good news is you get to choose. You get to decide whether your mind works for you or against you. You get to decide whether your thoughts build you up or break you down. You get to decide whether you focus on what's possible or stay trapped in fear. So make the decision. Take control of your thoughts. Speak life over yourself. Feed your mind with things that push you forward. Because once you master your mind, you master your life. Some of you keep saying you want clarity, you want peace, you want focus, but your environment is a mess. You say you want to elevate, but you're surrounded by distraction. You say you want to grow, but the people around you are pulling you back. You say you want to succeed, but every single thing in your life is working against your success. You don't just get clarity because you want it. You don't just get peace because you say you need it. You have to create it. You have to protect it. You have to be intentional about what you allow into your space, because whatever surrounds you will shape you. Some of you have too much clutter in your life. And I'm not just talking about physical clutter, though that matters too. I'm talking about mental clutter, emotional clutter, social clutter, all the unnecessary noise, the distraction, the toxic relationships, the bad habits. They're taking up space in your life. And because of that, there's no room for what actually matters. You say you don't have time to focus, but you spend hours on things that don't move you forward. You say you don't have peace, but you invite chaos into your life every single day. You say you don't know what to do next, but you refuse to step away from the things clouding your mind. Listen to me. Your environment is either setting you up for success or it's setting you up for failure. And if you're serious about clearing your mind, if you're serious about getting to the next level, then you have to take control of what's around you. Some of you need to start with the simple things. Clean up your space, organize your surroundings. You don't realize how much disorder in your physical environment is affecting your mental state. When your space is cluttered, your mind is cluttered. When you're living in chaos, it's hard to focus. Some of you wake up every day to a mess, and you wonder why you feel overwhelmed before the day even starts. You wonder why your thoughts feel scattered. You wonder why you can't concentrate. It's because everywhere you look, you see disorder. You see unfinished business. You see distractions. And whether you realize it or not, that energy is weighing on you. But it's not just about your space, about your habits. It's about what you're feeding your mind. Some of you say you want peace, but you fill your mind with negativity every single day. You wake up and the first thing you do is check social media, and now your mood is controlled by whatever you just saw. You fill your mind with gossip, with drama, with other people's opinions, and you wonder why you feel drained. You spend hours watching things, listening to things, scrolling through things that don't add any value to your life, and you wonder why you don't feel motivated. You wonder why you don't feel clear. You wonder why you don't feel inspired. It's because you're filling your mind with junk. If you want clarity, then you have to be intentional about what you allow into your head. You have to be intentional about what you listen to, what you watch, what you read. You need to be feeding your mind things that align with the life you're trying to build. You need to be surrounding yourself with voices that push you forward, not ones that hold you back. Some of you need to stop listening to people who have no business speaking into your life. You keep letting the wrong voices shape your thoughts, and because of that, you stay stuck. If you keep surrounding yourself with small minds, then don't be surprised when your thinking stays small. If you keep surrounding yourself with people who are comfortable with mediocrity, then don't be surprised when you never push past average. You need to check your circle. You need to ask yourself, are the people in my life helping me grow, or are they keeping me in the same cycle? Are the people I spend time with pushing me toward my goals, or are they pulling me away from them? Because the truth is, your environment is stronger than your willpower. You might be the most motivated person in the world, but if you are constantly surrounded by negativity, by distractions, by people who don't believe in you, then eventually it's going to pull you down. If you put a strong person in a weak environment, that environment will win every time unless they intentionally change it. Some of you need to walk away from certain relationships. And I know that's hard. I know that's uncomfortable. But the reality is, not everyone can go with you to the next level. Not everyone is meant to be part of your journey. And some of you, the only reason you're stuck is because you refuse to let go of the people who are holding you back. You keep making excuses for why